At the end of last month, they published Nancy Drew Diaries number 7. I actually kind of like this book, which is good. I was worried that if I kept giving the series low scores, the culprit in the next book would be the YouTube reviewer. The book begins with Nancy and her friends going to Nantucket so they can visit Jenna, the unpaid intern. Jenna is often seen with her best friend, Marnie. Marnie's family has lived on Nantucket since the 1700s, and her grandfather is 104 years old. Hey, this reminds me of a limerick! There once was a man from Nantucket. He was so old he could kick the bucket. He gave a look through a Nancy Drew book, and then he decided to chuck it. Our heroes go to the museum where Jenna is in charge of a special exhibit. They arrive just in time to see the banner unveiled, but someone has sabotaged it. Dun dun dun. The look on Jenna's face is, it's like that one time Nancy was at summer camp and there was this girl, Dana, who was totally scared of heights, and Dana looked down from a bridge and she had a panic attack and she was super scared, and yeah, that's what Jenna's face looks like. Thank you for the rambling metaphor about people we don't know, Nancy. Jenna's exhibit is about a whale hunter named, let's call him Captain Ahab. Ahab was on a mission to kill a whale called Moby Dick, but his ship sunk in Nantucket Harbor in 1860. Jenna's exhibit is going to prove that Ahab sabotaged his own ship, and the centerpiece of the exhibit is a figurehead. Before you can ask, how did an unpaid intern get such an expensive artifact? It is revealed that the figurehead has been stolen. Oh no! Now the exhibit is ruined! But who could have taken it? Nobody has been inside the museum except Marnie and her grandfather, who is old enough to have met the whalers, and... oh, I think I solved the mystery already. Nancy decides to investigate the other employees at the museum. First is angry girl Kelsey, who is jealous of Jenna's big exhibit and who needs money in order to buy things. Next is Pete the curator. Pete's office is messy, and it's just like, these neighbors Nancy has, the Golans, who are artists and messy, and great, Nancy's rambling again. Kelsey claims her keys were stolen at the sailing club, so Nancy goes there. Here she meets Connor, Jenna's ex-boyfriend. He hates Jenna because she broke up with him, and he hates Marnie because she beat him in a sailing competition. Basically, Connor hates everyone, and he openly admits that he sabotaged the sign. In the meantime, George goes on a boat with Marnie. George gets close to the top-secret compartment that is perfect for hiding stolen evidence. Then she stops to take a selfie. George, this is not the time to take a selfie! The boom comes loose, and George is hit on the head. She is knocked unconscious and falls overboard, which is bad for George, but it probably resulted in a really cool-looking picture. Obviously, Marnie is the one who knocked George out because nobody else was on the boat at the time, but Nancy accepts Marnie's weak excuse that somebody else must have loosened the knot. Really, Nancy? Oh well, at least she stopped rambling. Either way, George fell into the ocean and her clothes are wet now, so she is forced to wear a waitress uniform for the rest of the book. Apparently, there are no other clothes on Nantucket. Nancy gets a phone call from her boyfriend Ned, and he accuses Jenna of being the thief. Thanks, Ned. We can always count on you to provide pointless cameo appearances, and to badmouth people you've never met. Speaking of badmouthing people, Nancy overhears gossip about Pete's shady past, and for a couple of chapters it looks like Pete has stolen museum pieces. When Nancy confronts him, he reveals that he removed those pieces weeks ago. It's just that nobody noticed until just now because it was convenient to the plot. Nice. We see Kelsey make a shady back alley deal, and afterwards the whale exhibit falls down, hitting waitress George on the head. So George has been hit on the head twice now. I'm starting to think the author doesn't like her. The end of the book is going to say that Kelsey's deal was her trying to start an antique store, and it says the whale smacking George on the head was just a random coincidence, but I'm still going with the author hates George theory. Anyway, end of the book time. Let's wrap things up. Nancy realizes Marnie stole the figurehead because she's a descendant of Captain Ahab. There's a dramatic confrontation scene on Marnie's boat. Well, at least the confrontation is supposed to be exciting and dramatic, but Marnie completely ruins the mood by sitting down and crying the whole time. What can I say? Some culprits try to attack Nancy, other culprits cry. The figurehead is restored to the museum in time, and the exhibit is such a success that Jenna gets promoted from unpaid part-time intern to unpaid full-time intern. Kelsey apologizes for being such a jerk to everyone, and Nancy sees a whale as they sail away from the island. The end. Post-book follow-up. Why is this book called The Phantom of Nantucket? There are no phantoms in this book. Furthermore, I find it odd that Jenna had no idea her best friend Marnie was related to Captain Ahab. Jenna spent weeks working on the Ahab exhibit, and the topic never came up once? Get real. Sort of like Book 5, this book has a half-hearted attempt to center the story around a theme. This time, the theme is dealing with nasty incidents in your past. Sadly, the end of the book gives us the moral that the past is important because it affects the present, which is pretty much irrelevant to the theme. Oh well, you tried. Many times in the book, they mention that people who live in Nantucket all year round don't like the summer tourists. In fact, the Nantucketers are openly rude to Jenna and the others. Bad move, Nantucket. Here on the West Coast, we keep quiet about not liking tourists because we like their money. Overall, this book moves fluidly, even if you can figure out the mystery far earlier than the book intends. I especially liked how Nancy was more descriptive and less of an idiot compared to other books in the series. My original score is a solid 7 out of 10, but like always, I'm taking off a point because the book is double-spaced. I don't think the publishers have noticed my anti-double spacing campaign yet, though. Okay, maybe I'll give the book an extra half point for George taking a selfie. I'll give Nancy Drew Diaries number 7 a 6.5 out of 10.